Our planet has endured billions of years of catastrophic events, shaping it into the world we inhabit today. However, one day, an event of unimaginable scale could destroy Earth and end the experiment known as humanity. From the breakup of Pangaea to the meteor that exterminated the dinosaurs, Earth has faced numerous apocalyptic events that transformed its geography and ushered in new eras of life. Yet, a future extinction event might not only wipe out humanity, but could also obliterate the planet itself. What would it take to completely tear apart Earth? Join us as we explore the top 7 Earth-shattering events that could potentially return our world to dust. From hypercanes caused by asteroid impacts to the cataclysmic transformations of the Sun, each scenario reveals the delicate balance that makes Earth habitable and highlights the existential threats looming in our planet's future. Could Earth be sucked into an endless void? Might a second star appear, incinerating our world, or does our doom lurk beneath Earth's very crust? Imagine looking at the night sky with a sense of wonder, only to realize that the shooting star you see might herald doom. Among the natural calamities that have plagued Earth, hurricanes stand out for their deadly impact. But what if an asteroid struck the ocean with such force and heat that it triggered something far worse? A hypercane? This colossal storm, with winds moving at the speed of sound and clouds towering up to 40 kilometers, could devastate our world. The winds would inject water and aerosols into the stratosphere, destroying the ozone layer and exposing the surface to lethal radiation. Consider Jupiter, the gas giant with twice the mass of all other planets in our solar system combined. Its gases are akin to those of the Sun. If Jupiter were to grow 1,000 times more massive, it would ignite into a second star, wreaking havoc on planetary orbits. Earth could be drawn closer to this new star, facing incineration, or flung into space as a rogue planet, condemned to wander the cosmos without the sun's warmth, resulting in a frozen, lifeless world. However, the sun itself poses a significant threat. Burning through 600 million tons of hydrogen per second, it will eventually exhaust its fuel. When that occurs, the core will contract and heat up, causing the outer layers to expand and emit immense energy. This expansion would create a deadly heat wave, evaporating Earth's oceans and scorching its surface. Ultimately, the sun could engulf our planet, reducing it to molten rock. If the sun were to gain even more mass before collapsing, it might transform into a black hole, one of the universe's most mysterious forces. Gravitational doom. A black hole's gravitational pull could deform Earth, causing earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. As Earth nears the black hole's event horizon, it would be stretched and compressed into a stream of atoms, a process known as spaghettification, until it is consumed by the void. In contemplating these catastrophic possibilities, we are reminded of Earth's fragility and the precariousness of our existence. Consider the hypothetical scenario where Earth's rotation speeds up significantly. If our planet's rotational speed were to increase dramatically, the consequences would be far-reaching and devastating. If Earth's rotation increased beyond a mere 0.45 ms, the first noticeable change would be a shortening of the day. However, more significant increases could lead to catastrophic environmental and geological effects. The increased centrifugal force at the equator would cause the equatorial regions to bulge even more, exacerbating the differences in gravitational forces across the planet. This could lead to severe geological instability, with earthquakes and volcanic eruptions becoming more frequent and intense. The weather patterns, already driven by Earth's rotation, would be thrown into chaos. Hurricanes and cyclones could become more frequent and intense due to the increased energy in the atmosphere. The global climate would likely destabilize, with extreme weather events becoming the norm rather than the exception. Additionally, the rapid rotation could affect the distribution of water on Earth's surface, potentially leading to catastrophic flooding in some regions while causing severe droughts in others. Total volcanic eruption. Currently, 10 to 20 volcanoes are erupting at any given time on Earth, releasing ash and gases into the atmosphere. However, if every volcano on Earth were to erupt simultaneously, the consequences would be apocalyptic. The sheer volume of volcanic ash and gases released would envelop the planet, blocking out sunlight and plunging Earth into a volcanic winter. The lack of sunlight would halt photosynthesis, leading to a collapse of food chains and mass extinctions. The molten rock ejected during such a cataclysm would devastate the surface, with rocks heated to 1,000 degrees Celsius, traveling at speeds up to 700 km/h. This would render vast regions uninhabitable. The ash and sulfur dioxide released into the atmosphere would create a thick layer, suffocating life below and drastically dropping temperatures, potentially triggering a new ice age. The planet's climate and weather patterns would be irrevocably altered, and the biosphere could be driven to near extinction. In conclusion, Earth's future is fraught with potential catastrophic events that could spell the end of humanity and the planet itself. Whether it is an accelerated rotation, simultaneous volcanic eruptions, or gravitational anomalies, these scenarios underscore the delicate balance that sustains life on our planet. As we gaze into the cosmos, we are reminded of the precariousness of our existence and the need to appreciate and protect our unique home. The catastrophic potential of a Category 6 hurricane is truly staggering, dwarfing even the most destructive storms in recorded history. Imagine a storm of such magnitude that it defies conventional classification, a tempest of unprecedented ferocity and destructive power. Such a superstorm would be a force of nature unlike anything humanity has ever witnessed, a juggernaut of wind and rain capable of laying waste to entire coastlines and reshaping the very landscape of our planet. As the storm gathers strength over the warm waters of the ocean, fueled by the increasingly intense heat absorbed from our warming climate, it would rapidly escalate into a monstrous cyclone of unparalleled proportions, with wind speeds exceeding 252 km/h, far surpassing the threshold for a Category 5 hurricane. It would unleash its fury upon coastal communities with devastating force. The storm surge accompanying a Category 6 hurricane would be nothing short of cataclysmic. As the towering waves batter the coastline, they would inundate low-lying areas with a deluge of seawater, submerging homes, businesses, and critical infrastructure beneath a relentless tide. Entire cities, from New York to Miami to Mumbai, would be engulfed by the churning waters, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair in their wake. But the impact of a Category 6 superstorm would extend far beyond the immediate coastline. Inland areas would be ravaged by catastrophic flooding as rivers overflow their banks and torrential rainfall inundates the landscape. Flash floods would sweep away homes and vehicles, while landslides would bury entire communities beneath tons of mud and debris. The economic toll of such a disaster would be incalculable, with billions of dollars in damage and years of recovery ahead. The disruption to critical infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and power grids, would cripple local economies and disrupt supply chains on a global scale. The human cost would be even more profound, with lives lost, families displaced, and communities shattered by the relentless force of nature. But perhaps the most alarming aspect of a Category 6 hurricane is its potential to exacerbate the ongoing climate crisis. As sea levels continue to rise and extreme weather events become more frequent and severe, the threat posed by superstorms like this looms ever larger. Only through decisive action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change can we hope to avoid the worst-case scenarios and safeguard the future of our planet for generations to come. As a low-pressure atmospheric disturbance generating cumulonimbus clouds and thunderstorms, this tropical wave, 10 days later, would mature into a tropical storm in the Caribbean. However, its evolution wouldn't halt there. Over subsequent days, it would intensify into a hurricane. As it traverses over Jamaica and Cuba, it would undergo further amplification, escalating from a Category 1 to a Category 3, and potentially even a Category 5 hurricane. From the vantage point of New York, observers would witness the havoc this phenomenon, dubbed "what if," wreaks along its trajectory. Typically, hurricanes veer eastward, dissipating over the ocean before posing a direct threat. However, this time, fortune would not favor the usual course. 3 weeks into its genesis, "What If" would defy records, emerging as the largest and most potent hurricane ever documented, culminating in its inaugural landfall in New Jersey. Unleashing wind speeds of up to 300 km/h, the impact would dwarf even the devastation witnessed during Hurricane Sandy in 2012. The aftermath of this Category 6 hurricane making landfall in New York would spell cataclysmic proportions. Enveloping an area larger than half the United States, the city would descend into chaos. Storm surges exceeding 8 meters would inundate the urban landscape, from beaches to streets and subterranean tunnels. With no mass evacuations in place, millions would find themselves stranded or imperiled by drowning. The deluge would infiltrate subway stations, submerging buses and cars, while wastewater facilities would fail, contaminating local water sources. Those caught outdoors would confront a battle for survival amid flying debris propelled by ferocious winds. Even storm-proof structures would succumb, with roofs and walls collapsing under the force of the tempest. As darkness envelops New York City, plunging nearly 9 million inhabitants into obscurity, essential services such as healthcare, transportation, and communication would cease. Millions would clamor for rescue as they confront the eye of the storm, a temporary respite amidst the turmoil, akin to standing atop a mountain peak gulping for air. Ultimately, as the hurricane subsides, the absence of warm oceanic waters to sustain it would signal its demise. However, amidst the wreckage and infrastructure decimation, escape would be possible only by sea. Amidst the submerged streets of Manhattan, the once thriving metropolis would lie in ruins, its denizens facing a grim reality of loss and devastation. The lesson drawn from the analysis of the what-if hurricane emphasizes the necessity of preparedness and mitigation against natural disasters. While we cannot fully control natural events, preparing for emergencies can minimize damage and save millions of lives. It also underscores the importance of researching and understanding the natural environment to formulate appropriate responses. Ultimately, the lesson highlights the importance of community cooperation and preparedness in confronting such extraordinary challenges, as only by working together can we face and overcome such significant obstacles. My personal perspective derived from this lesson is the imperative need to respect and protect the natural environment. As humans, we must take responsibility for our actions and act as part of a global community to safeguard this planet for future generations. Additionally, sharing knowledge about risks and response measures can better prepare us for emergencies and minimize damages. Life on Earth has endured apocalyptic scenarios before, and it is a certainty that such trials will recur. Are you prepared for these eventualities? Let us know in the comments.